Okay, let's start off with just a look at the groups that I'm in, which will give you a feel for the types of groups and also the mix between prospect groups and peer groups. So to take a look at my groups, I'm just going to come up here to the fifth nav drop down, which says interests, and I'm going to select the second choice there called groups, and then I'll jump over here. There's a relatively new layout of LinkedIn groups where it's showing me some of the top discussions over here in the lower left half, and then up at top it shows me the first 6 groups that I'm in. If I want to see all of my groups, I can click that view more, and now as you scroll down, realizing that I am essentially a sales trainer, you will get a sense of the types of groups that I'm in. So things like Social Selling University is would be mostly a peer group. There'll be some prospects in there as well, but that's more informational. But then things like Bay Area sales executives, sales and marketing executives, Silicon Valley sales professionals, sales management, sales association, sales and marketing executives. So you can see here, most of these, again, are really geared toward finding prospects and finding new business, but then ones where I'm going to get questions answered or just do peer sharing, or things like the National Speakers Association or professional speakers and seminar leaders. So again, here you can see that I'm in a large number of groups because of the 5 benefits of being in groups. Okay, so now how do you find your own group? Well, you're just going to use the same search buttons that you use when you're usually looking for people, except in this case, we're going to specifically look for groups. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to pick the drop-down menu, and I'm going to limit my search into just the groups category. So for fun, let's just say that I sell marketing products or services to companies. So I'm going to start off with just the highest level thing that I can look at. I'm just going to start off with any kind of groups that have marketing in either the title or the description. Now, obviously, that's a big term. We're going to get a lot of groups, right? 57,000 groups. So we would need to whittle that down some way, shape, or form. Let's say maybe I'm particularly interested in digital marketing. So the company's got, or the group has to have the both of those words in it. Let's see what my 57,000 does. Well, that terrifically cuts it down now to just 4,665. Still a huge number, but what you'll notice here is that LinkedIn it's not actually perfect, but it sort of ranks them based on the number of members on here. So we can come in here and look at, this is a huge group. Digital marketing has over 500,000 people in it. And if we clicked through, here's where you'll see a little bit more information about the group. You can read a little bit about it here. You'll see this is a private group. You have to actually request membership and be accepted by the group manager, but obviously it's not too exclusive. It has almost 600,000 members in it. And if we want to find out more about this particular group, then you can come in here and click the little gray eye that's just to the right of the yellow join button. And this tells you a lot of interesting information about this group. I like to look at the group statistics to decide if it's a good fit. Again, we're seeing some of the basic summary information here about how many people are in it and comments and where they are. We can come down and break down the demographics of the membership to see what's the breakdown in terms of seniority. We can look at their functions, obviously marketing. We can look at their location, right? New York, London, Paris. So this is obviously an international group. And we can see what industries people are in. Information technology, online media, computer, public relations, and things like that. The other thing I like to look at is how much activity is there in a group in terms of comments and discussions. So we can see this one's fairly active, right? Again, it's a giant group, so we would expect there to be a fair amount of discussions and comments and things like that. So one opportunity, there's sort of 2 ways to look at it. One way is you might want to join this giant group because there's so many prospects in it. So that is one way of looking at it. You might also want to join a very small group because that way your comments and posts are going to have a lot of influence amongst a much smaller crowd. So there's actually 2 different ways to look at it. And again, that's part of the reason why you want to maximize the number of groups you can join at 50, because it gives you so many different options.